Tell me, what do you think of when you think of god-tier manga art? Berserk, Vagabond, One Punch Man, the other One Punch Man? Well, those are all valid answers, but lately for me, I think I'd say... Okay, now if you haven't heard of Dandadan, first off, welcome to Earth, this must be your first day. Secondly, Dandadan is a manga series published on Shueisha Shonen Jump Plus, and it's drawn by the Yukunobu Tatsu, a man I'm convinced shares the same plug as Hideo Kojima and Tatsuki Fujimoto, cause what do them boys be smoking when they write the shit that you write it, like god damn. Anyways, Dandadan, as the youth say today, smacks. Like the story is a whole ass roller coaster of fun and insanity. Like, I'm talking whilst reading that bitch, you'd be questioning, did I do drugs before I picked this up? It's that insane. Like, I mean, look at this panel. Yeah, that about sums it up right there. Now, why am I meat writing this manga so much like it took me to dinner and told me I was pretty? Well, if you're regular here on the DD Markinson channel, you know I have a little series where I teach people how to draw like various manga artists. A lot of these I need to redo because I've grown so much and some of these are just straight ass. LOL. Anyways, like I've done in the past with the order videos and other artists, in this one I'm focusing on Dandadan and Yukunobu Tatsu, trying my best to teach you how to draw like him, analyzing and breaking his art style down into his anatomy style, his inking style, and his toning style. And like I also usually do, at the end of it all, I'm going to use all we learn and discuss in this video to draw my own character in the style as best as I can. W plug. Okay, so before I jump face first into the analyzing of Yukunobu Tatsu's art style, can we just take a moment to appreciate the art that is in this manga? Like, whew, the art in Dandadan easily has the best graphics in manga. Like, damn, 120 FPS on each panel, ray tracing, 4K visuals. Like, I'm damn near convinced each volume comes with like a RTX 4090 included somewhere. Like, my goodness gracious, look at some of these double spreads. Something the Dandadan manga is well known for, by the way. Anyways, let me clean up all the saliva from my mic from drooling over another man's pen work.
Hey yo, what the f?
And let's start breaking down Yukunobu Tatsu's anatomy. And the first thing I'll say is, I know y'all don't want to hear it, I know it's kryptonite to some of you, but you need a more than solid grasp of the drawing fundamentals to draw like Mr. Tatsu. I know, but it's the truth. Like, come on, my brother in Christ, did you really think you'd be able to draw like this without wielding all the drawing fundamentals like Thanos with the Infinity Stones? No, this ain't Chainsaw Man level art where you can get away with not knowing anatomy, perspective, color theory, composition, light, values, proportion, how to get away with murder. Like, come on, bro, but the kind of art Yukunobu puts out, if you want to get anywhere near his level, you gotta walk before you can run, buddy. And that's why I've got something exciting to introduce you to, a class on Skillshare that will get you started on that journey of learning and improving at the various drawing fundamentals called Discover the Art and Science of Drawing by renowned artist and teacher Brent Everston. If you've been following me on social media, you know since it's the start of 2024, I've been diving into training arcs to enhance my art and most importantly, sharpen my fundamentals, because no matter what level you're at in your art journey, fundamental skills can always be refined, and this course has done just that for me. In this comprehensive, super beginner-friendly series, Brent lays down a solid groundwork for your drawing practice. You progress through detailed demonstrations covering essentials such as mark making, perspective, proportion, contour, light, and shadow. Is an opportunity to evolve your skills and artistic style while delving deep into the technical craftsmanship of drawing. Now, why am I sharing this with you? It's not just because it ties into the video topic of today, but because it has genuinely helped me feel like I've leveled up my drawing skills. Brent's approach is clear and engaging, making the learning process both accessible and enjoyable. And wait, here comes the cherry on top. Skillshare is offering a 1-month free trial for the first 500 people who use my link in the description. That means you can delve into this class and countless others without any restrictions. Skillshare isn't just about individual classes, it offers comprehensive learning paths tailored to your interests and goals. These curated pathways guide you through a series of classes, building upon each other to deepen your knowledge and skills in a particular area. Whether you're interested in learning an instrument, graphic design, self-improvement techniques, how to draw manga, or any other creative field, Skillshare has you covered. By following a learning path, you can track your progress, stay motivated, and ultimately achieve your artistic aspirations more effectively. So if you're like me, eager to enhance your drawing abilities and explore new dimensions in your art, whether it's for your comics, portfolio, or even to draw furries, this path is an absolute game changer. Check the link below to get started on your creative journey, and a big thank you to now multiple time sponsor of the channel, Skillshare, for making this possible. So taking a look at the anatomy of the characters in Dandadan is pretty much straightforward, anatomically correct and correct proportions of the human body for both males and females. Unlike people like Araki with JoJo and Oda with One Piece and even Murata with One Punch Man, Tatsu doesn't have the anatomy or proportions of his characters elongated or over-exaggerated, nothing like that for the most part. Anatomically, if you just study using a real-life reference of the human body, plus, you know, give or take 10,000 hours or so of practice, and you're easily well on your way to drawing the human body the way Yukunobu Tatsu does. No big deal. Well, but what about the way he draws faces? Aha! Now that's where we see one of the unique aspects of his art style. The other aspects we'll cover in the later sections of this video, but yeah, how Tatsu draws faces is one of the ways we can identify and go, ooh, that's his art style among a pile of others. And let me break it down for you. For the most part, characters in Dandadan have huge eyes, small noses that usually have some hatching on the bridge of the nose, a mouth, duh, and as for the eyebrows, if you zoom in, you notice Tatsu Sensei damn near hatches them vertically like this all the time. Ooh, and I've noticed for the most part, he likes his characters having round ass faces. Now, of course, there are exceptions to all this when he has characters that don't check all these boxes, but for the most part, I'd say that's the main base of his style. Just like how most characters in the Chainsaw Man manga look like this and have this type of nose and eyes, but sometimes Fujimoto has characters like, this guy who look like this. So yeah, like many manga artists, Tatsu Sensei might have range in terms of how he can draw people and their facial features, but he has a kind of default mode that he likes, if that makes sense. Anyways, if you really wanted to jack Homeboy's art style bar for bar for some reason, I'd suggest simple practice from observation. Now that we've taken a look at how Yukinobu does things anatomically, now for the aspect of his style that makes him very unique in my eyes, and it's the way he inks. There's a couple of points about Tatsu's inking style I want to point out, but the first thing is hatching. This man hatches so damn much, I don't even know how he has the patience to do it all. Like honestly, I'd say if you can get away with hatching something instead of toning it, do it, because I'm pretty sure that's how Yukinobu Tatsu himself approaches it. Clothes, hatch them. The floor, hatch that hole. Character's eyes, hatch away. Alien penis, wait, what? Anyways, Yukinobu does hatch anything he can get away with, otherwise if he can't, he tones it. Now, he doesn't have a preferred method of hatching, although it seems he mostly does a lot of parallel hatching, but he will use other forms like cross or contour depending on the scenario, effect, or even environment. And to be honest, you can't intrinsically know when to use what hatching style in a scenario unless you have that experience and know the fundamentals, as I said earlier, the way Master Tatsu does. Another thing is, even when he hatches, he tends to do it following the form of whatever he's hatching. So again, do them fundamentals. I know, it sucks, but you gotta do it. Come on, you gotta do it. But yeah, when it comes to his actual line work, he mostly uses clean inking techniques, similar to what I described as the standard in my drawing like Kohei video, I think. However, if you look at his art, and like me, you feel like it has the same kind of rough look as JJK's art or Chainsaw Man's. But unlike those two, Dandadan's rough look doesn't come from the line work. It's more so from how much he hatches the character's skin, clothing, and anything he can. Lastly, concerning the line work and inking, notice how I said earlier when it comes to having clean lines, Yukinobu does it most of the time. Well, the reason why is because he does use a lot of rough hand-drawn sketchy ass lines to sell things like motion, speed, horror, dynamism, and even emotional states. And that's another aspect I find unique about his art style. That blend of traditional manga inking techniques, clean lines, using line weight for various purposes, whatever, with the rough, sketchy, loose lines. Anyways, I hope that made sense. Alright, last but pretty much least, Yukinobu Tatsu's toning style. I have very little to say about this because there's nothing unique about it. As I said, if he can't get away with hatching something, Yukinobu tones it, and he tones it pretty standard. For stuff like the sky, clothing, shadowy areas, etc. So yeah, straightforward. Oh, and before I move on to the part of the video where I tried drawing my own characters in the style using all I've learned, I want to say this about Yukinobu Tatsu's art because I couldn't find anywhere to put it in the video. It's that I already mentioned how well known bro is for them beautiful ass double spreads. Another thing he's also well known for is them dynamic ass angles, like god damn. And sometimes they're in a fisheye perspective too, and that's another reason why I said you need your infinity gauntlet of art fundamentals to even try to emulate my bro's art style. Like that fisheye shit is dead ass the final boss of most artists in terms of their artistic progression. Like I could name a lot of the biggest artists on these platforms, and I bet money they couldn't even do that shit. Even me, at least not that good. Oh well, that's why I love fried chicken. What about you? Okay, so we're at the part of the video where you're now watching me attempt to draw in Tatsu Sensei's art style using everything we broke down in this video, and as you see, I've opted for a dynamic ass fight double spread on a motherfucking highway of cars because of course I had to for this video. This was the wildest composition I could think of that would allow me to put a lot of what we covered in this video to practice. I'm sure I could come up with some wilder shit the way Yukinobu does if only I had some, some meth laying around, but oh well, this'll do. But yeah, if you're familiar with my own manga Ruthless Render, available to read for free online if you want, you notice I'm drawing two of my own characters fighting. The main character, Cass, is the big monster one, and the normal looking dude he's fighting is another one of my characters, Tadashi. And as you see, I dressed him up like the main character of the series we're covering on this video, like I usually do in these videos. This one, of course, being Dandadan, and of course the main character of Dandadan being Okarun. I hope I said that right. But yeah, anatomically, you see I'm keeping it all proportional, not stylized. The only anatomically or proportionally incorrect one is Cass, and that's because, well, he's in monster mode. And also, when it comes to the anatomy, if you look closely at Tadashi's face, you notice I try my best to copy the way Yukinobu does faces, paying attention to the facial features of his characters that I pointed out earlier in the anatomy section of this video. Anyways, now that I'm inking it, my thoughts are there's no such thing as too much detail. Zooming in as much as I can to hatch anything I can get away with, even the backgrounds. As I'm inking, I'm also trying my best to also add that mix of rough and clean line art I mentioned earlier as well, mainly adding the rough lines to sell the motion of this action scene. And when it comes to the line weight, I'm varying the weight of the lines to sell things like objects being closer to the hypothetical camera than others. And lastly, now that the very long inking process is done, it's now time for the tones. And as you can see, it is toned sparingly and pretty much standard. And that's all I kind of have to say for that. And there you have it, folks, a drawing of my beautiful boys trying to murder each other, drawn in as close to the Dandadan style as I could. Now, is it perfect? Does it look like Yukinobu Tatsu himself drew it? Hell no. But does it look similar? Yeah, I think I'd say so, but this is obviously my first attempt, but the more you practice it, the more you find yourself near and identical to his work. But remember, you won't ever 100% replicate it. You might get to like a 99%, but not 100, because like I always say, an art style is like a signature. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate you. Also, a big shout out to my patrons for supporting me, supporting this channel, and supporting my manga dreams. They're the reason I, as an adult man, draw Chinese cartoons for a living. Anyways, if you yourself want to support me on Patreon, the link to everything you need is in the description down below. And yeah, don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button as well, because that helps out the channel. And last but not least, don't forget to leave a comment, because I read most and respond to some of your comments. Till next time, art nerds, it is I, Dandadan the douchebag Mark. Peace and love, baby.